This episode is brought to you by Elevate OS, the only all-in-one community operating system. Elevate OS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. Today, before we get started, let's talk about this. See this RSVP Today podcast? I can't get my finger to, that thing's not exactly behind me. It's over to the side. It's a little bit more difficult. For those of you who are just listening, I'm pointing it at a monitor that has an RSVP for our podcast Palooza that is coming up this summer at Apartmentalize in Las Vegas. We are hosting the second podcast Palooza. Our first was last year in Philadelphia at NAA. This year, doing it again. But as with these things, as is tradition in these arenas, we are going bigger this year. We are partnering up with some incredible sponsors, incredible people that serve the multifamily industry, and we are pulling off the biggest podcast Palooza that we have done thus far. So sign up today. Go to our website at Multifamily Media Network. Find the link to RSVP today for the podcast Palooza coming up in NAA. Today, I want to talk about unbruised prosperity and how that lacks the resilience necessary for true strength. So unbruised prosperity, let's unpack that for a second. What are we saying there? If you are a person that walks through life without burden, without complication, without conflict, that just breezes through life, when you're on your way to work, every light turns green. When you pull into the parking garage, you have rockstar parking. When you go to the grocery store, rockstar parking. When you go to any retail store, rockstar. When you're driving down the freeway, everybody gets out of your way. If you're that kind of person, so you have unbruised prosperity in every arena of your life, my imagination, it's not even my imagination. Everything that I've read and I've studied over the years, when, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Adversity strikes, when something puts itself in your way, you will not necessarily know how to respond. You won't know how to respond. Your natural response will be fight or flight, because that's what the amygdala in our brain, in our mind, in this head of ours, your amygdala from an old brain, ancient brain, back in the day where a caveman had to make a decision whether to freeze and look like some part of the landscape so they didn't get eaten by a dinosaur or some other predator, versus running if he knew he could get away from said predator. So those were the two actions. And our brain still has that functionality. So if you're the type of person that has never experienced adversity, you've never seen a predator get in your way, suffice to say, when time comes, you're just going to do one of those two things. Versus the person who has been through a tremendous amount of adversity in their lives. Now, I'm not comparing and contrasting two people's experiences and suggesting that one is going to be better at anything than the other person. But what I am suggesting is, in order to exercise the muscle of creative thinking, the muscle of understanding how to do conflict and find conflict resolution, the exercise of critical thinking, or the muscle of critical thinking, in order to exercise those muscles, you have to experience adversity. And you have to experience a lot of adversity because you need a lot of reps to build these muscles in a way where they become a conditioned response, where they become part of your muscle memory, so that if said thing happens, then X thing happens because you've seen enough of that, you've done enough of that, you've experienced enough success at that you just do that thing and you keep it moving. So my encouragement to all of you The first person I described who just flies through life, and the second person that I described who has all the adversity you can possibly imagine, embrace all those challenges. I like to say, embrace that for who you will become. Embrace the challenge, embrace the suck, embrace all the adversity for who you will become. And it's not the thing you'll become down here, it's who you become over time. You get better and better and better. And you view every single obstacle. I like to say the world is a great big education. And every single day it's going to present something to you that you need to learn. And it's up to you to embrace that and to learn it, to go through the exercise. Sometimes it's to go through the pain of that exercise in order to get better at that thing. But the world is a great big education. It's going to show you every day. It's going to present every day something that you need to learn. And the way that you increase or amplify your prosperity in the world is by embracing those things. Embrace the suck. See the world as a great big education. And do the reps. Do the work. Take care. Talk to you again soon.